Oh, hi. Good evening, Aishwarya. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
How are you finding DIDAC this year?
I think DIDAC is really nice every year because the
Right.
fact that new things happen in education and learning is a continuous process for all of us
Right.
itself makes it fun.
Right.
But the fact that we meet so many educators in one platform
Right.
itself is an exciting thing because
Right.
I think we share a similar energy.
I think there's nothing else like this where so many educators come and meet at one place.
Yeah.
Over time, they become good friends and then,
Yeah.
they keep going. That's super nice. So tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background. You got super young into education, the why, the what, the story behind that.
So I call myself an edupreneur because I got into education young, but I started understanding the gaps in the education system and made my entrepreneurship journey through that.
Right.
And that's how various products have been co-founded by me in the process.
Right.
Education was not a choice to me. It
Right.
came by chance because my parents had some institutions
Right.
and they gave me an offer, or in fact, a choice very young after I finished my engineering.
Right.
Would you like to look at this?
Right.
In fact, I just saw it as a choice in my life and I just
Right.
jumped into it. But today, if you ask me, education is everything.
Right.
And why education is because it keeps the child in me alive and makes me think differently every day.
Right.
And I feel as adults, sometimes we forget to question and think.
Right.
But being in the education space, it's a practice for me.
Right.
And it's not thinking for myself, but thinking how the future of my country can get better.
We share a similar vision that way because for me, I'm in education for a similar thing
Yeah.
where it's all about quite patriotic, too late to join the army. Right. So let's do what we can for the country. Right. So how soon did you know when you got into education that you're here to stay? Because for most people, it comes quite quickly. The aha moment.
It was very quick. It
Yeah.
was literally when I started education and I was going to classrooms to do personality development classes for children.
Right.
The fact that I didn't realize how quickly time passed, and every day I was excited to prepare something new.
Right.
And also, I did bring in a little bit international perspective because I was doing up a course called post graduation in education from Nottingham University. So
Oh,
I
nice.
understood the international curriculum sector to it.
Right.
So that's when everything blended in, and I felt there's so much room for improvement in our
Right.
Indian system.
Right.
And we can't ask for change without being the change.
That's a really powerful
So I
line.
said, be the change. So we started inculcating those processes in education in our schools.
Right.
And that's how we started the process.
How young were you when you first got into education?
I was 21.
Wow.
And it was really a challenge because
Right.
experience is such a huge part of validation in the education sector.
Absolutely.
And I
yeah.
came with zero experience. And
Right.
also a young looking girl who almost looked like a student.
Student, right.
So I was managing schools. So principals reported to me. So
Right.
my principals were thrice my age.
Wow.
So to just tell them how passionate we were, I don't mean to say that they had to learn from me, but we had to learn together.
Right.
And that's why when I start the education system, I call it learner centric because
Right.
I feel the teacher should also become a learner in the classroom.
Absolutely. In today's day and age, especially, right? A point you spoke about earlier was around what we're preparing our kids for. Like one thing that I look at very often is, for example, with AI, right? My development cost for the next 2 to 3 years probably would have gone to half because now AI can do a lot of things. Now we're educating our children to a future that we don't even fully understand, which is the problem, right? So when you go back to value-based education that you're talking about, that's why I think values are super important.
Yeah.
Because once you really put the right values in somebody, they'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Right? Subjects can be learned anywhere, on an app, at a school, at a tuition center, but where are the values coming from really?
Exactly. So you spoke about AI to me today. AI is seen as a little bit threat to the education system, but honestly, it's not a threat, but a catalyst to the process of learning.
Absolutely.
One, it inculcates questioning in students, which is great. You get right answers only when you ask right questions. The
Right.
second, we don't have to be worried about using AI or misusing AI by children if you teach them values and
Absolutely.
how ethically we should use AI.
Absolutely.
You can't use AI to cheat your exam, but you can use AI to increase your knowledge about a certain subject, which probably a teacher or a facilitator in class
Maybe
won't be able to do.
Yeah. So maybe somebody is shy. They don't want to ask a question at the risk of being, ridiculed. They can go and ask something back, right?
Yeah.
So the thing about AI, for example, since you brought that topic, that I find the most interesting is, yes, many people have thought it's a threat, but whenever somebody touches it and uses it, they're like, wow, I'm about 5 times more powerful.
Yeah, true.
They can really put the focus on their children, right? Wonderful. So let's talk a little bit about the value-based education that you're really inculcating. What do you do at your schools, and how is it adding impact to
So
the children?
8 years of work has been about how do I bring in interdisciplinary education in my schools.
Right.
So we try to combine various subjects. So I don't see only academics or only sports or only personality development as subjects. How do I do overall development has been my more core success.
Right.
So through that, I created something called the Value Education Lab. It's called Catalyst.
Oh,
We
wow.
call it a space of self-discovery in our school.
Right.
So we teach children to experience things like growth mindset, constructive conflict resolution,
Wow.
gratitude, self-affirmation, and
Right.
it's all put in a classroom. So I decided you just don't have to have physics lab and science labs. You can also have a value education lab,
Right.
which tells the child how important it is
Right.
for you to be a part of that culture in the school.
Right.
So my children go into these experiential centers. They self-learn and they self-balance their emotions, which make them help to become a better person every day.
Absolutely. I think today's generation especially
Yeah.
is very self-actualized. They
Yeah.
can do whatever they want. We just need to get out of their way and point them in the right direction, right? What do you love the most about education? One line.
What I love the most is it keeps the child in everyone alive.
Right.
And I feel we forget that we were children, we are children, and we will always be children to someone
Right.
else. So if we can
Absolutely.
keep that alive, we will really keep our creativity and collaboration skills open.
Right. That's a good answer. Let's talk a little bit about the other things that you do. You're also very unique because you're not just running schools, but you also have a few companies that you set up in order to help other people. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? What are you doing there? I saw something very interesting today about what you're building. Can you
So
talk a little
as
bit
I
about
told
that?
you, wherever I found gaps in the education system, I'm trying to fill them up with products.
Right.
So that, entrepreneurship at the end of the day is not to help myself, but to help 10 other people around us, right?
Right.
So
Right.
just having my schools and running my schools is not going to serve the purpose,
Right.
but I had to reach out to other schools. That's how
Right.
products came into being.
Right.
One of the products is Penumbra that you recently saw,
Right.
where we call it My Space and My Expression for Creativity,
Right.
where we use a powerful concept like storytelling to
Right.
become a part of the curriculum for a child.
Right.
Where the child understands the story, breaks the story down to pieces, understand what all are the requirements and the main characters of the story, and
Right.
represents the story back as a reflection form.
Right.
So that he learns not only creativity, collaboration, but also communication skill. Because he
Absolutely,
gets
yeah.
the confidence to present in front of 10 people.
Right.
What I love about Penumbra is so many children don't like the story saying that I'm going through it. But when they put characters into it, they easily let out their emotions.
The
And
visual
that's a
beings,
great
the
feeling.
children. Yeah. That's wonderful. Did it start as a project at your school and then
Yes,
went from
we
there?
did a lot of research in our schools. I
Right.
started in all 4 schools with different age groups.
Right.
I saw how different children behave to it. An interesting story that if I can tell you in this Penumbra is when a child was showcasing in a 4th standard child was trying to showcase on how he sleeps in the night through my kit, and suddenly an Avenger comes and picks him up and goes away. And the second scene is when the light goes off and the 2 parents starts fighting.
Uh,
So what I'm trying to tell you is children are expressing what they go through, which they might not use their voice
absolutely.
to tell anyone because they feel if that's correct or wrong.
Right.
But when they say it in the form of story, they feel good. They feel
Absolutely.
liberated. And I feel anger was sadness that had nowhere to go, right? So if you can remove that sadness out of a child, then you remove the emotion of anger in them.
And say very precious years of their life
Yeah.
where they can go find. I'm sure that it's only through struggles that you overcome, but not all struggles are good struggles.
True.
You can control which struggles
Yeah,
you can help
yeah.
people go through, right? Wonderful. I have 2 last questions for you.
Please.
One, where do you see the future of your schools or education in general over the next 10 years? I'm not talking about the smart TVs or the AI, but because, for example, if in my school, when I was a child, if we had a storytelling class, that would be a dream. You would never have that. I remember very quickly, even now, I remember, for example, the entire periodic table that I learned in 8th. Rote learning was always the way. Now you're getting these really interesting things. Where do you think, as someone who's super young, has one foot in both eras, right? What is it that you think education is going to become in the next decade or so, especially with K-12
Honestly,
schools?
if I can reverse that question, I always ask this question to myself that it's
Yeah.
very difficult to answer something on what's changing. But if you can ask something, what has not changed? Like you just told me, storytelling has not changed.
Right.
Even today, you go back, whether you're telling the story through voice or
Right.
you're showcasing somewhere else
Right.
or you're putting it on a projector, storytelling does exist, right?
Right.
So I think the question that all of us youngsters or educators need to ask ourselves is what's not going to change in education for the next 10 years and prepare
Right.
for that.
And do everything we can to support that in
And
every
one
way.
thing that's not going to change is skills, values, knowledge, and how do you help children acquire that?
Right. Right.
It can be various forms. It can be AI. It can be technology. It can be a smart TV. But at the end of the day, you need to create interest and curiosity, right? How do you do that in child?
Correct. By using newer methods, by finding interesting things, by finding their strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly. So I think that's a
Right.
question we need to answer.
So one of the reasons I embarked upon the mission that I did is because I found what I'm naturally born to succeed at, in my opinion, by chance. 99.9% of India doesn't have that privilege. And today, with the power of data and everything, it's actually possible, right? So that's what I am most excited about. I am excited, even personally and through all the other companies, to try to really make school superheroes, in a way where they have everything that they need to go forward. Now, last question for you. The main agenda of this conversation is I always crave to see younger people in education like us, right? Most people, unfortunately, are picking not either off the beat careers or going abroad or doing doctors, engineering. It's such a crowded, it's a rat race, right? What message do you have for younger people here? What is it that you think young people can get in education they can't get anywhere else?
I feel there are various reasons to it. If you look at education as a business side of it, I think it's a huge opportunity because you're talking about 23 million children coming out of our country. Okay,
Right.
that's a huge market to play with.
Correct.
So if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking at your market size, tell me a better market than education. I don't see
India,
it.
education, K-12, there's no better market than
Right?
that. Yeah.
And secondly, parents don't think twice before giving their best. Every
Absolutely.
parent wants to do something better than what he's got for himself, for his child.
Absolutely.
So
100%.
that comes in education.
Right.
So your customer basis, you don't need to convince them, you only have to show value to them.
Absolutely.
So that itself solves your problem.
Correct.
The third, I think the biggest GDP spend in terms of percentage happens in education in our
Right,
country.
right.
So every finances tells you why a youngster should be in education if he wants to financially succeed.
People don't show these metrics
Yeah, so
on the
you,
most upcoming fields, right?
you should be in
Yeah,
medics.
yeah.
But at the end of it, I feel as a job, it should give you satisfaction and
Right.
it should give you impact to a society.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You're building the future of your nation by investing yourself in education because
Right.
you're making someone else's life better, easier, and catalyzing their process
Right.
to a better India.
Right.
So I feel I should do that.
Right.
And it's my responsibility and not only my choice to do that.
Right.
So if you can be there, why not?
I spent 8 years doing other things before coming here. And once I come here, I'm like, should have done this right after school. I don't know if you've seen my logo. It's actually a pencil with a mountain on top.
Huh.
The hidden meaning behind that is this is all you need to really conquer the tallest mountains.
Right.
90% of what I do right now is what I learned in school.
Yeah.
Everything after that has just been,
No, but again, what you said, it's great that you're saying 90% of what I am right now is what I learned in school. We make fun saying, oh, what did I learn in school? But you asked me, what is the India and what is the future of my school? Every child that passes out of my school should say everything that I learned was in school.
absolutely.
That should be the one-liner for every child that passes out of my school.
That's a wonderful, wonderful way to put it. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I love what you're doing with Penumbra and all the other schools.
Thank
and